Hello, and welcome to our mini lecture. Today we're going to be concentrating on Nicole Siegel's groundbreaking work from the Radical History Review, Beyond Compare, Historical Method After the Transnational Term. The intriguing question this article addresses is, what are the possible risks associated with comparative history? We will delve into the profound insights Siegel provides regarding the unintentional reinforcement of national and racial ideologies through comparative history in this exploration.
Nicole Siegel is a professor of American Studies and History at the University of Indiana. She is an activist, scholar, and teacher. Her focus is on race, violence, and resistance in Puerto Rico.
Comparative history has long been a cornerstone of historical scholarship, enabling us to analyze the experiences of different nations, cultures, and peoples side by side. However, Siegel raises a crucial point that we, as scholars and students of history, must ponder. Does comparative history always lead us to a more comprehensive and accurate understanding of the past? Or can it sometimes perpetrate the very biases and stereotypes we seek to overcome? This article invites us to take a closer look at the dangers that may be embedded within the comparative historical analysis.
Nicole Siegel says on page 64 of Beyond Compare that historians interested in comparative techniques would benefit greatly from the realization that subjects arise in connection because identifying oneself in reference to others is fundamentally a comparison act. Comparison is the process of defining oneself in reference to others. This is true for both the establishment of geopolitical organizations and the formation of individual subjects. Like the ego, the country arises through connection to others.
Nicole Siegel's article, Beyond Compare, Historical Method After the Transnational Term, raises important concerns about the dangers of comparative racial history. She claims that scholars contribute to the formation of racial and national ideologies, and that comparative history has the potential to unintentionally reinforce them. Her paper states on page 66, comparisons pull together the bodies compared rhetorically. They pluck individuals from originating locations and set them down in foreign fields. They force scholars to absorb foreign languages and histories. They ask readers to join in their transnational gazing. They apply methods of analysis to context other than the ones in which they were developed. The methods change, then take their new selves home. We can examine these risks using examples from two course text readings.
In the reading, A World Destroyed, A Nation Imposed, the 1937 Haitian Massacre in the Dominican Republic by Richard Lee Tertis, he conducts research about how using comparative racial history can be hazardous. The massacre was caused by deep-seated racial and national tensions between Haitians and Dominicans. Scholars may unintentionally reinforce prejudice and stereotypes by drawing parallels between these two countries' racial dynamics and histories. It is easy to generalize attitudes and behaviors of entire countries, reinforcing negative stereotypes by oversimplifying complicated racial relations in a comparative context. Academics, whether unknowingly or intentionally, can create stereotypes about a country's character by portraying a specific nation or ethnic group as fundamentally flawed or inferior.
Another example of comparative history comes from Frank Gurdy. Gurdy examines the systems of racial hierarchy and discrimination that both African Americans and Afro-Cubans in Cuba had to deal with. He looks at the similarities between Cuban racial relations and Jim Crow segregation. in the United States, Gertie illuminates the common experiences of racial subjugation that molded the lives of African Americans and Afro-Cubans by contrasting these two systems.
In both cases, comparative racial history poses risk because it can simplify, oversimplify, or generalize intricate and subtle historical processes. This can lead to the harmful reinforcement of national and racial ideologies, which can exaggerate stereotypes and obscure the historical foundations of racial hierarchies.
We must be aware of these dangers and proceed with caution when studying comparative racial history. It would be preferable to seek to understand the historical circumstances and complexities of racial identities and relationships, as well as how these have been constructed over time, rather than to feed prejudices. In this way, they will be able to actively contribute to a more sophisticated and knowledgeable understanding of race and nationality.
According to Nicole Segal, transnational history treats the nation as one among a range of social phenomena to be studied, rather than the frame of the study itself. This quote can be found on page 63 of her article, Beyond Compare. By using transnational history in place of comparative history, we are able to focus on specific ideas or phenomenons instead of generalizing and stereotyping whole nationalities.
This lecture emphasizes the importance of comparative history in understanding different societies and cultures. We emphasize the importance of being cautious and aware of the potential threats. Comparative history, when done carefully and precisely, can shed light on the complexities of human experiences, beliefs, and behaviors. We urge academics and historians to use this authority with caution in the pursuit of a thorough, complex, and compassionate understanding of the world's various histories. Finally, we hope that students will be motivated by inquiry, critical thinking, and a desire to discover the truth.
Thank you for joining us today on this exploration of comparative history and the danger in which it can pose in society.
Thank you.